Introducing first, making his way to the blue corner, Dominic, McHugh.
So just looking at the card right now, we got 6 fights left. For me, these next 6 fights are going to be something special. Moziah Clark is an explosive athlete from the Chosen Few gym. He's taking on Dominic McHugh, which I don't know a ton about. He's been competing up north in northern Wisconsin. I'm very interested to see what he brings to the table. 125 pounds is a coveted weight class for the larger promotions because there's not a lot of 125ers that are competing. We know what Moziah Clark brings to the cage. I'm interested to see what Dominic does.
Yes, we are back out here at Monona Terrace for the top of our card as we go. 6 fights left to go, and Dominic McHugh coming in with a record of 2-1. One of the things I'll say about McHugh, it's kind of interesting to me. I'm always looking for where the fighters hail from. You'll see some cities more than others for sure, and whenever we do Chosen Few, a lot of Madison fighters. One thing I don't think I've ever seen is someone fighting out of Beaver Dam, and so it's usually not known as a fighting kind of town. I lived in Beaver Dam, enjoyed my time there. In fact, my son was born in Beaver Dam and at the Beaver Dam Hospital, but not a lot of fighters coming from there. So we'll see what McHugh is going to bring out of the fighting town of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Again, a record of 2 up and 1 down as we see him now. Let's check out Moziah Clark. Clark has some experience as an amateur. This is his 7th amateur fight, a record of 3-3 for Moziah. And actually, once you start getting to this point as a fighter on the amateur side, it starts to come to the point like, are you going pro or not? You usually don't see a lot of guys having too long of a record, and Clark's probably going to have to make that decision soon.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of how Josh Derry does this. He doesn't rush it. I see a lot of guys make the mistake of rushing when they're not ready. They learn a lot of valuable lessons early in their pro career, and it just makes it so much harder to go to that next level. Chosen Few guys have turned pro. If you look at Dante, you look at Lemminger, you look at Polizzi. They went when the time was right. Moziah is still a young man. He's learning. He's explosive. I do think he is one of those guys that possesses, next level talent. But he's got to get some, cage time in.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can go ahead and do that here tonight as we look at the tail of the tape. Clark giving up 3 inches in height to Dominic McHugh. Not sure if McHugh is going to try and use that to his advantage and keep Clark at distance, but Clark looking ready for this one as we head on up to the cage in Kent.
This is our 7th bout of the evening. 3 3-minute rounds in amateur MMA, brought to you by Carbon World Health. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighed in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, representing Third Heaven MMA, Dominic McHugh. Standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighed in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, representing Capital City MMA and Chosen Few fight team, Moziah Clark.
Moziah Clark trying to pump up the volume of the crowd here. They are happy to oblige at Monona Terrace as we get set for this one. Clark versus McHugh, and away we go. 2 very quick fighters, and Clark quickly landing a left and also a kick. McHugh answering back, and down they go, but look at Clark on top, landing shots onto McHugh.
Yeah, no, Dominic came out and he was thrown. He landed a nice overhand right, and then Moziah, caught the kick to the takedown. And now he's looking to smash from inside the guard. Tito Ortiz made a career of slicing people up from inside the guard. So this is where, as an amateur, you can't throw elbows. As you can see right now, if they were able to throw elbows, he'd be able to do some significant damage.
That's what you would want to do for sure. But right now, using lefts and rights, and especially that right hand, to do some damage, as McHugh right now doing a good job of wrapping Clark up and not allowing him to get those hands free, because once he does, this is what happens. You got some hammer blows coming, you got some rights, and there's a good hammer shot as well, a right hand by Clark.
You know, Clark has that just a small, stocky frame. He reminds me of a Chad Mendez, a Sean Shirk, but he's right where he wants to be right now. He's doing damage from inside the guard. He's right in front of Kane Rizzo. Listen to instructions, so he's definitely winning the round, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and he continues his assault on Dominic McHugh, who is just trying to cover up right now from those left hands by Clark. Clark now sneaking in a right hand as well, looking to finish McHugh off. McHugh has been in a bad spot for most of round number one.
And it's just such a bad spot to be in. Your head is pressed against the fence, so you can't escape, behind you, and you're just eating heavy leather. I mean, if you look right here.
He's going to have to be in a spot right now, I would think, McHugh, where he's going to have to answer back. And
it looks like Tom's going to step in here.
Yep, because you could see our referee, Tom DeVilbiss, he's taking a look in there, because you really got it. Yeah, you can't just sit there and take blows and not be able to answer back and defend yourself, and it gets to a point where it's too much, and it was too much, as Moziah Clark is able to rain blows down onto McHugh and get the big victory. A nice finish by Moziah Clark. Started strong, ended it in round number one, and improves on his record with his fourth win as an amateur. Posing right there, and why not? We'll get the official word when we come back. A victorious Moziah Clark here on Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 23 and Television Wisconsin.
Referee Tom DeVilbiss has called a halt to this contest. 2 minutes, 2 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner by TKO, Moziah Clark.
Clark getting his hands raised as he improves to 4-3, and we'll check out how Moziah Clark was able to do it right after we hear from the victorious pugilist.
Bunny, tonight you just kept punching.
Felt good.
Are you feeling good? You feeling like you set out to accomplish this is what you wanted to do?
That's exactly what I manifested the past month.
Were you surprised that he pulled guard like that, or?
Oh, not really.
Okay, all right, well. All right, man. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thanks a lot, Moziah.
Moziah Clark, a man of few words, but many blows as we check out the finish here in our fight, as Clark at this point had been on top of McHugh for at least 60 seconds, maybe longer, and McHugh just wasn't answering back, as Moziah Clark is a winner here tonight. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will see the women go at it. That is coming up next on Chosen Few Fighting Championships on Television Wisconsin.